All right, guys, so you asked for it. This video is on emotional enmeshment. First, we're going to go over what it is and then some questions to ask to see if maybe you are struggling with emotional enmeshment yourself. And then, as always, some quick how to heal tips. So, emotional enmeshment, when a family relationship or a relationship itself has too much love. I wrote that for a reason because I think a lot of times we get confused because we think caring about another person is a loving, considerate thing to do. And while that is the case, absolutely, I consider myself a considerate human being and I care about others. There's a limit and there is an area where the boundaries between my emotions and someone else gets a bit too blurred and it really does have some negative consequences. So, emotional enmeshment, essentially what this is when the emotions of one person in a relationship or in a family unit affect the whole emotional climate of everyone else. So, if mom is having a bad day, before you know it, the whole family is bearing the emotion of mom's bad day. This could happen in two-person relationships as well, where if a partner comes home, is having a stressful time at work, before you know it, the other partner is starting to weather those same emotions. Another sign of emotional enmeshment is sometimes when there's no privacy, when everything is aired, every small emotional event of one person, again, in a two-person relationship or in a family dynamic, is talked about very openly. And again, this sometimes really does connect to that first piece too, where now we're all feeling about that one event because all emotions are really aired for everyone publicly. Another sign, essentially, of emotional enmeshment is the tendency then, and these are all really interconnected, to begin to look outside of ourselves for validation, for decisions. So again, this looks like in a two-person relationship, always checking in with our partner, or again in a family, always bouncing decisions, as small as where should I go or what should we eat for dinner, to as big as what are my career directions in life. And the same thing, checking in with everyone to get that validation so that I can feel secure that I'm making the right decision. So if you guys are listening and you're questioning, am I struggling with this? Or maybe some of that sounded similar. These are 6 really great questions to begin to ask yourself. So the first one, do you feel responsible for the emotions or the experiences of someone else? So am I finding that I'm compensating or really trying so hard to make everyone or someone else around me feel better? Do you feel that you can rescue or fix those around you, and then vice versa? Do you feel that you're waiting for those around you to rescue or fix you? And again, I want to just keep pointing out there's a limit between I'm considerate and when someone that I love is struggling, I'll be there for a supportive ear. But those who hear me talk a lot, I know that there's a limit of how much I can control, and falling into this role of rescuer, helper, caretaker, things that I hear come up so often in the clients that I work with, that is a bit on the extreme. The reality of it is, and I know this is really hard for many of us, we cannot rescue or fix anyone else, and we cannot wait for anyone else to rescue or fix us. Question 3, do you find yourself offended or fearful when someone needs emotional space? And I have lived this experience as long as I can remember. Anytime any of my partners we had an argument, they needed to take some space, we all process our emotions differently, I automatically took that to mean the relationship must be over. This is a very bad thing to happen. Again, so that's a really, really good marker. Space for other people to process their emotions is completely normal. So if you find yourself starting to have a panicked reaction when other people are taking space, that might be a marker of those two blurred emotional boundaries. Number 4, do you know your own emotional needs? Do you know how to go about meeting them? Sounds so simple. Again, I did not know how. I did not know what my emotions are. I did not know how. This might sound crazy coming from a psychologist. I did not know how to give them words, let alone I did not even know how to start to begin to meet my own emotional needs. So if you guys feel the same, this might be a sign that you too have struggled with emotional enmeshment. Do you struggle with boundaries? One of the biggest hot topics around are boundaries. Similarly, if you find yourself having a hard time putting limits up, it's all a boundary is, limits in relationships. If you're struggling to define those, again, that connects to number 4. If you're struggling to put them up, to enact them, as I say, or to maintain them, the feel-bads on the other side of boundaries, chances are you've struggled yourself with some version of emotional enmeshment. Number 6, do you feel addicted to relationships? What I mean by that is, do you feel yourself on the ride again, the emotional ride of someone else? Same thing, if my partner is having a good day, a good week, a good year, I'm having a good day, a good week, a good year. If they're not, I'm not as well. So are you on someone else's emotional roller coaster? If you are, or if you find yourself commonly on someone else's emotional roller coaster, chances are your emotional boundaries are a bit blurred. So now what? I know a lot of you are probably thinking, ooh, I can relate to some of these. So 3 quick tips. First one, simple, alone time. This just means separate time and space. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna plan a lunch, a coffee, a walk around the block. Anytime that I can carve out just some time to be by myself. For the introverts out there, that can mean journaling. Just some time where I'm just me. That can be a really, really great start. Evolving that a bit. What are my interests? What are my hobbies? Now I'm starting to get a little more deeply connected with myself. I talk about this often because I used to talk with my partner about this. I didn't have hobbies that I knew of. I didn't have interests when I first met her, and I thought maybe it was just something, I just was someone who didn't know, or I wasn't the person who got gifted with hobbies or interests. I assure you, we all have hobbies and interests. So for some of us, it's just reconnecting. What were those things you liked to do in childhood? Pick those up. For me, it was art. I started to paint again. I started to just define something that I liked on my own. My partner doesn't like to paint, and that's okay. I was able to have something that was a little bit deeper, that was just for me. And then the infamous boundaries. So really, if you're struggling with emotional enmeshment, chances are that in your relationships, you're probably having a hard time defining boundaries, enacting boundaries, and maintaining boundaries. Those are the 3 steps of boundaries. I have another YouTube video that I will link below that you can check out, but they're hard. I'm gonna just tell you right now, boundaries are hard, but for those of us who have emotional enmeshment, they're so integral. They give us a bit of space to start to carve out our own emotional world separate from those around us. So I hope this video was helpful. I definitely am the poster child of emotional enmeshment, so I share this in such a relatable way. This part of my journey was so integral. I hope you guys found this helpful, and thanks for listening.